Buenos días a todos. Continuando con la agenda del día de hoy, de este interesante Congreso Científico MIP 2018, el bloque número 2, Protección Marítima y Tecnología. Tenemos el honor de que comparta con nosotros sus experiencias profesionales el contraalmirante Michael Alfultis. El tema que se verá en el día de hoy, Maritime Security and Technology Trends. El contraalmirante Michael Alfultis. El doctor Michael Alfultis fue designado rector de la Academia Marítima del Estado de Nueva York en junio del 2014 por el Consejo Superior de esta institución y también designado contraalmirante del Servicio Marítimo de los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica. Retirado de la Guardia Costera de los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica con más de 28 años de servicio. El doctor Alfultis fue profesor de la Academia de la Guardia Costera y subsecuentemente sirvió como oficial en jefe de la Universidad de Connecticut en Avery Point Campus. El doctor Alfultis tiene más de 20 años de experiencia de enseñanza superior y más de 13 años cumpliendo con las responsabilidades académicas y administrativas en instituciones militares y civiles de educación superior. Su experiencia incluye su desempeño como oficial de navegación y operaciones de la Guardia Costera de los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica, en la que también es miembro de la facultad de la Academia, jefe del departamento académico y administrador seniors en esta universidad insignia. El doctor Alfultis se graduó con honores de la Academia de la Guardia Costera en 1982. With the Honor of the Coast War Academy en 1982 with a degree in Marine Sciences. Posteriormente obtuvo una maestría en ciencias en la Universidad de Washington y un doctorado en oceanografía en la Universidad de Rhode Island. Sirs, it's an honor that you share your experience with us.
Good morning. I apologize, but I'm not going to talk about maritime security and emerging trends. As someone who has spent his career in higher education, as someone who has spent his career in maritime education, what I'd like to talk about instead is the impact of technology on maritime education, which I think is very relevant to today's conference. So, in my presentation today, I'd like to introduce the idea that we are in a new age of accelerations and how we as maritime colleges and universities should respond to this new age of accelerations. In summary, I believe we need to be more agile and nimble as institutions, and that we produce what I like to call adaptable students. These conclusions were reached as a result of our recently completed strategic planning process at Maritime College. As part of our strategic planning process, we met with industry leaders and undertook an environmental scan of external factors that would impact the college and our students. Through this, we garnered significant industry input on current and future trends in the maritime industry. We realize that technology and globalization are driving the greatest changes in the maritime industry since the shift from steam to sails 150 years ago. Our conclusion was that we essentially need to change how we teach future mariners and what skill sets we need to provide them to be successful given not only the change we're facing, but the rate of change we're facing. So the environmental scan we undertook for our strategic plan looked at the 6 areas listed on the slide. For each of these areas, we looked at trends, assessed the effects and implications for the college, and how we would either minimize the risk or take advantage of opportunities. We looked at 2018 out to 2024, recognizing that some of the changes that would impact our students would occur outside this period. But trends would start to emerge during this period that the college needed to address in order to ensure our future graduates were prepared. As an example, fully autonomous ships may not be here by 2024, but our students will begin to see much more automated ships with integrated and networked systems. We listened and we learned. We read reports by ABS and DMUGL on future trends. We attended industry conferences and panels on current and future trends in the maritime industry. We convened industry focus groups. We solicited industry comments and review of our strategic plan as it was being developed. As a result, it became clear to us that technology and globalization, again, are in the industry, in the maritime industry, is the greatest changes we've seen since, again, the shift from sails to steam over 150 years ago. Disruptors that we identified included digitization and data analytics, systems integration and automation, cyber risks, e-commerce, new technologies, and environmental regulations. As some examples, the integration of digital technologies into everyday life, digitization, is reshaping every aspect of our lives and business. The development of sensor technologies and smart technologies will continue to accelerate. Just look at how our automobiles have become literally mobile data vacuums. They can track everything from the weight of the passengers to what we listen, to whom we call, to diagnostic information about the car itself. Along with these advances, data analytics by sophisticated computers and programs will enable the development of autonomous systems that are situationally aware, capable of making decisions, and adept at learning. As such, there is consensus that there will be a steady progression to autonomous systems for ships with a goal of autonomous ships in the future. I'm sorry, I think we disagree. This will mean a reduction in crew sizes and a shift where mariners are required in order to safely operate vessels in autonomous and manual modes. Just like other industries where technologies have eliminated jobs, the overall number of jobs for mariners could actually increase due to increased volumes of shipping traffic associated with an expected increase in the world GDP. However, different skill sets and credentials will be associated with these new jobs. We need not fear automation. A study of automation in the UK found that over a 15-year period, 800,000 low-skilled jobs were eliminated as a result of artificial intelligence and other automation technologies, while 3.5 million new jobs were created. These new jobs paid on average $13,000 more per year than the ones that were lost. The study went on to conclude, and I quote from the study, "Continued success will result on the ability of businesses and organizations, educators and government to correctly anticipate future skills requirements and provide the right training and education." Unquote. I'll say that again. Continued success will result in the ability of businesses and organizations, educators and government to correctly anticipate future skills requirements and provide the right training and education. That applies to the maritime industry as well as all other industries. The ongoing transition from manual and automatic to autonomous systems over the next decade will result in increasingly complex systems. More integrated and complex systems will require cyber resiliency against malicious or inadvertent attacks for all sectors of the maritime industry, including ship and terminal operations, brokering, chartering, protection and indemnity, ship registry, and supply chain management. Part of the solution to provide security for complex systems includes blockchain technology. After the June 2017 cyber attack that cost Maersk as much as $300 million and disrupted operations for 2 weeks, there was an accelerated interest in blockchain technology. IBM and AP Moller Maersk set up a joint blockchain venture to make the company's supply chain more efficient and secure. Cyber threats and new technologies such as blockchain will drive the need for digital maritime workforce having new certificates and credentials. In short, a more digital and tech-savvy crew and maritime workforce will be required on board and ashore. Shipping will also become greener and more fuel efficient. According to DMVGL, the growth in liquid natural gas-powered ships is expected to accelerate towards 2025. In 2017, there were 75 LNG-powered ships in operation, and another 80 are under construction. Additionally, 40 ships have been designed to be ready for an LNG retrofit. Recent developments in ship propulsion and electrification, new battery technologies, and hybrid electric solutions on smaller vessels could be the harbinger for some degree of hybridization on larger vessels in the next decade. Sources estimate that by 2025, a majority of larger vessels could have some degree of hybridization. Happened to me too, John. But the real question is, how is this challenge of changing technologies for the current and future generation of students and mariners different from that of previous generations? How are these changes any different from the shift from steam to diesel propulsion, or the advent of containerization and its impact on global shipping? The maritime industry is, after all, an industry of innovation and change. I believe New York Times columnist and best-selling author Thomas Friedman describes it best in his book, Thank You for Being Late, An Optimist's Guide to Thriving in the Age of Accelerations. Friedman says it is the dizzy pace of simultaneous and accelerating change in three different but interconnected realms. Three different but interconnected realms: the market, Mother Nature, and Moore's Law. The market refers to globalization, which is causing the world to be hyper-connected and interdependent. Mother Nature is climate change, biodiversity loss, and population growth. Moore's Law, as it relates to technology, states that the power of microchips will double every 24 months. The impact of these interconnected realms is that technology change is accelerating so fast that, unlike in the past, people, regulations, and educational institutions can no longer keep pace. We are now in what Friedman refers to as the age of accelerations. So how do we respond as maritime universities to the sea of constant change and disruptors? What are the implications of this new age of accelerations to maritime training and education? How can we keep up? Can we keep up? I believe we need to look at three things. We We need to start to look at creating programs that are agile and relevant. We need to create agile students, and we need to increase our partnerships. So what I mean by agile and relevant programs? We can only do this through a careful balance of education and training. Education provides the theoretical foundation and promotes intellectual and personal growth in areas such as critical thinking and analysis, quantitative and scientific reasoning, information literacy, communication skills, leadership and ethics, appreciation for global civilizations and the natural world, and competency in the field of study. Training refers to skills and knowledge that relate to specific useful competencies. Training prepares students for a current job, while education prepares them for a career. Second, our institutions must have processes in place that through meaningful partnerships with the industries we serve, ensure our courses and programs are relevant. We have been familiar for decades with the term just-in-time logistics. We must now adapt the same concept to our institutions and offer what we would call just-in-time training and education. However, we must do more than just react to accelerated changes. We must anticipate them. Our institutions must be more agile and nimble. We must anticipate future trends and impacts of those trends. Relevance will also require our program and course review processes to change. While shared governance is essential, we must establish new processes that enable us to evolve, change, and deliver just-in-time programs and courses. In order to adopt this model, we need to frequently scan the horizon, determine what DMVGL refers to as the most likely future, and understand that while there will be significant uncertainties, we should be able to make decisions and, equally importantly, assess them based on current trends in a relatively short period. At the same time, we need to work to infuse common adaptive soft and hard skills across our curricula so students have the ability and are ready to be lifelong learners who understand that in the age of acceleration, they will need to adapt and retool and relearn in order to remain employable. Finally, recognizing the maritime industry is a global industry, there must be a closer and more frequent collaboration among industry, maritime colleges and universities, and government agencies and regulators. Our students and faculty need to be more aware of the geopolitical, international, and economic factors that drive the maritime industry. So finally, how do we put this all together? I believe we need to integrate your academic background, your academic knowledge, with the hands-on learning that we all do at our various maritime universities and colleges with these set of adaptive skills. And so what I mean then is we need to have discipline-specific knowledge in science, technology, engineering, math, in the humanities, in business, in our license programs, and in each one of these, we need to have hands-on learning opportunities, whether it be at sea, through internships, through research, through service projects. But at the same time, you must infuse adaptive skills, soft skills, such as technological competency or technological fluency, with communication skills, with leadership and teamwork skills, with analytical and critical thinking, and with multicultural awareness and respect. And that those skills must be infused not only in our academic programs and our discipline knowledge, but they also must be infused across all our hands-on learning. And so I believe it's by this integration of academic knowledge with hands-on learning, with adaptive skills, that we're going to be able to create, again, students who are able to retool relearn, and adapt. Because the reality is this: we cannot keep up with the rate of change. We cannot keep up from a curricular perspective or a program perspective with the rate of change. But we have to equip our students to be able to adapt, retool, and relearn, and so that they can navigate this world of rapid accelerating change. Thank you very much.